Hi everyone, welcome to Amazing You. I am your host. My name is Ranithanacoody. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist using RTT method. I am a life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, and life force compassion practitioner. Today I have the great pleasure to introduce you to Danielle Matthews, who is a brain injury survivor from the United States. Welcome, Danielle, to Amazing You.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. It's a privilege to have you to talk to the audience today.
Yeah, I can't wait to share. I'm so glad that our lives cross paths and that I'm able to be on here and share my story with everyone.
So tell us, Danielle, briefly about your story.
Yeah, I would love to take everybody back to actually about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I was involved in a really severe car accident. I actually got hit by a drunk driver and I sustained a brain injury. And my world, I was 23 years old at the time of that. And my world went from, vibrant, young, healthy, living where I wanted to live. I was a big snowboarder. I was out in Colorado snowboarding on the weekends. And all of a sudden, I couldn't focus for more than 10 minutes at a time. I couldn't handle any sort of input from light or from noise. I had severe migraines. Like my brain was just pounding and was very dizzy and couldn't sleep. I was dealing with a lot of things. I think you go down the brain injury, and it's like, check, check, check. I had all the symptoms. I've been an athlete my whole life. So I thought, I'll push past this. I'll move through it. Yeah. And I attempted to go back to work. I attempted to just keep living my life. And it was so clear that I couldn't. And ultimately I ended up losing my job, not because they didn't want me, but because I couldn't perform the tasks I needed to. And I had to move back in with my parents and focus full time on trying to get myself well. And I'll tell you what, it was such an intense hit for me emotionally, because I didn't know what my life would look like. Doctors were telling me that they didn't have answers, that with my type of injury, it was just be like spontaneous healing that happens and it should clear up in a month or 3 months or 6 months. And, at the 1 year point, they said to me, well, with this type of injury, my neurologist literally said, your body's done the healing it's going to do, Danielle, and this is your new normal. And you need to shape your life around this. And I'm so grateful because something within me, when I was sitting in my neurologist's office, just like my higher self, it must have been, just went, well, you're fired. And I just thought, there's no way. Like, I'm 24 years old. I'm living at home, unable to really think, do, act in the ways that I want to be able to. And I said, no, I've got to find a solution. Yes. And at this point, I was dealing with severe anxiety. I mean, I was having panic attacks on a regular basis because I didn't know what tomorrow was going to hold. I mean, and I was in so much physical pain. And it was interesting. I watched, it's amazing how other people's journeys help us on our own. And yes. I watched a movie called The Crash Reel. And it was about a snowboarder named Kevin Pierce, and he had gone through a traumatic brain injury, and the whole thing was documented because he was at the level, like he was competing at the Olympics. And I watched this documentary, and I watched this man who was living, the dream. And he had this injury, his life totally changed. And then he started to move into this space where he wanted to help others. And he started a foundation called Love Your Brain. And I thought, wow, if this man could create goodness from what he went through, yes, what could I do? And I had this moment where I said, okay, like there's new rules that have been put on my life. Yeah. And I thought, all right, if these are the rules of the game, how do I find happiness within this? Yeah. And I made it like a challenge for myself. And every night before I went to bed, I would write something down that I was grateful for. And people talk about gratitude journals all the time, but I wonder how many people actually do them. Yeah. Because I swear to you, it rewired my brain. It does. And it was so hard for me at the beginning because I didn't have much to be grateful for. I didn't think. But then I started to go, well, you know what? That salad I had today, like those strawberries were delicious. Like I'm grateful for the strawberries in my salad, And I just started to find something every day. And then slowly it was like all I could look back at was all of the things throughout the day that were amazing, hundreds of things. And I found meditation. So my mom had led me through something called Yoga Nidra, which is a guided meditation. And it allowed my brain for the first time to just like switch off and get my parasympathetic nervous system, going again. Yes. And I could rest. Mm-hmm. And I started doing that every day. And I swear it was like that anxiety that I was having, it just dissipated. I started to be able to be calm. And it was amazing when my internal world got calm, when I stopped like this resistance and intensity, pushing against my injury. I became happy. I hadn't healed. I was just like happy within what my life was. And I thought, okay, here's the current reality, but let's live in the present moment, because who knows what tomorrow's going to hold for me, and let's find happiness there. Yeah. And what's incredible is when I got into that space, the answer to what I needed to actually allow my physical body to repair came to me.
Wow.
I didn't know about the law of vibration, the law of attraction, like how the universe really works. I didn't know any of that, but I'm like living it out, you know? And it's interesting because the answer for me with my physical health, it came through a technology called Redox Signaling. Oh. And it was actually an acupuncturist that recommended it to my mom. She said, I've come across this technology. I'm using it in my practice. And the way she described it was that it went in and it just stimulated cellular repair. So it basically amplified the signal in each person's body to help that body find where it was damaged and repair. And she said, look, you made more of these signaling when you were young, and it's just with time and age, you have less. So the signal is weaker. Or if you have a lot of damage, like I did from my trauma, she said, it's like, it's like having one bar of service on the cell phone. Like we just need more signal to get the repair there.
Right.
Anyway, I honestly resisted it for 6 months. I thought it sounded too good to be true. I was like, there's no way that could do what she's claiming.
Yeah.
Just funny to look back on. But, eventually my parents used this product for things they had going on in their bodies. They had results with it. And they said to me, Danielle, this stuff cannot hurt you. It's native to you. Why don't you try it? Give it 6 months. See what putting more construction workers on the job site will do. What repair can be stimulated? And I thought, all right, I'll try this stuff. And 3 months into using it, the pounding in my head stopped for the first time in 2 years.
Okay.
I started to be able to concentrate again for extended periods, get the words out I wanted. It was like the fog I'd been in just kind of lifted. Mm-hmm. I had energy again. And it was my cognitive therapist that said to me, 30 years of working with my type of injury, she said, I've never seen someone have such a rapid recovery so far out from the initial trauma. And she said to me, what is that stuff you started using?
Right.
And it's so interesting because that question was the catalyst for what has now happened over the last 8 years. Because she said to me, my other clients need to know what this is, Danielle. And I thought, well, I don't know what it is. And so I thought, I want to know too. And we dove into it. And I was blown away with what I learned and how this could support each body in just getting that system back to its original blueprint is how I look at it, to the space it was in when we were young. And I've spent the last, that time sharing and educating other people about my story and what's unfolded. And it's been incredible to witness. Like Kevin Pierce, he has no idea about me, but he helped me on my journey. And now I've been able to turn around, and it's not so much other people with brain injury, though I've helped some, but
right.
Like the number of health issues out there, the number of things people are dealing with on a daily basis, physical issues. I've been able to give hope, to let them know, hey, there's options out here. And also like, I understand the emotional side of it too, of what it takes, because so much of recovery, I think, is in the head, right? We need the physical things to get the physical body well, but there's so much in our thoughts. And so that's been my journey. Wow. That's been, what's unfolded and how I got to where I am today.
What's an incredible journey. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danielle. So Danielle, tell us, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
Wow. So at each phase, there's probably been someone, but what's interesting is my mom is always the one that opens up the door. She, since I was young, she'll hand me a book at the exact right time. And it might be like when I was young, it was a Wayne Dyer book, you know, and I read that and went, whoa. Going through my accident, it was Yoga Nidra. She, you know, opened the door for that for me, but then she introduced me to the lineage of that ancient yogic teaching. And I got to meet the guru behind it, his daughter. And they shared with me yogic philosophies that just changed my world. I swear, they're like the secret to life. And, you know, my mom is the one that introduced me to the Redox technology, right? The thing that just was such a pivotal moment in my world. So I got to say it's my mom, and just how she's been able to be a doorway for me to all the pieces and things that have been what I call inflection points in my life, you know, where I've had big growth, big changes in perspective.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what are the 3 qualities that you admire most in your mom?
Oh, my mom has such an open heart. So she has an open heart in that she is just open to what is out there. You know, I find it, I have a judgment that comes in, or I think that's not right, or that's not this, but my mom just stays open. She doesn't prejudge, and she allows things to flow in, which I love. And she also just holds in her this, I think it's like this joyous vibration of just a happiness, right? You're around her and it's so nice. And she gives. I think that is the other thing that's beautiful about her, is like she's in the background giving in ways that I don't think, it's not like she gets the spotlight or wants the spotlight in any way, but it's just, you know, part of who she is to give in that way. And I think to me, it's a beautiful role model to live like that.
It is. You're very lucky to have a mom who can be such a great inspiration in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what quote, Danielle, has helped you to cope in challenging times?
You know, there's the question actually that I ask myself, and it is, what is this challenge making possible?
Okay.
And so that for me, it's like, you know, I know that everything's happening for me at this point. If you'd have said that to me during that first year of recovery after my injury, I probably would have smacked you and said, you're crazy. This accident did not happen for any benefit, you know, but now I realize, like, my higher self orchestrated something to put me on a different path, because I needed to be moving in this direction and learn certain lessons. And so now I know, like, what is this making possible? It's interesting, right? When the pandemic set in, you know, and everybody got closed in, I just thought, okay, well, what is this making possible? And what came to me was, well, now you can move online and you can meet people around the world. And look at us, right? Yeah. We get connected, you know, here in the US, and you're over there. And it's just, it's been a beautiful thing. And I think challenges allow for opportunity. It's a chance to go within and figure out, all right, what do I need to learn? So that's my favorite.
That's very true. Yes. Thank you. And what would you say, Danielle, today to encourage people who are listening and watching this podcast and YouTube channel and who are facing some tough times? What would you like to tell them today?
I would take a deep breath and try and change your perspective. You know, for me, that was everything. Like with my injury, as I shared, nothing changed with my physical health, but something internal shifted. And when I had that internal shift, it changed my world. And so if you can just allow yourself, even if you don't believe what I'm saying, but play the game and allow yourself to go, okay, well, what is this challenge making possible? What could I be learning from this situation? Because what will happen is the world, the way I look at it is that everything, it's going to continue to come into your life, one character, one form or another, because you are meant to learn a certain lesson. It's the lesson you asked for in this journey, this lifetime. And so if you don't learn it, it's going to keep coming another way. Or like, why won't this thing get out of my life? Whatever it is that is your challenge. And so you just need to change your perspective and go, okay, well, what is it within me that's needing to shift, or that I need to realize? And I think the people, even sometimes like some of the most difficult relationships and dynamics I have are with people close to me that have been with me my whole life. And I know they're my greatest teacher, because they're constantly a reminder of showing me something within me that I'm needing to have triggered so that I can grow. And that is the beauty of, you know, how we kind of spin and are around. I think of it like the correct weather has to happen in the garden in order for that seed, that unfinished, like karmic seed, if you will, to sprout. So we realized like, oh, there's something unfinished here. I need to go attend to that. Great. If the weather hadn't been there, the right conditions hadn't happened, situations, people, you wouldn't know. And so just express gratitude for the situation and say, okay, you know, what is this meant to reveal inside of me? And I'm telling you, that change in perspective, it shifts everything. And then very likely things will dissipate.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah.
And now tell us briefly, Danielle, about your business and how can people contact you?
Sure. So I do a couple of things. I have a website called brainbodyself.com. And it's because I have such a passion for people understanding what's in their mind and also how to quiet it. And so the Yoga Nidra, I actually became a certified facilitator and I have meditations. There's a free one on the website so people can just do it and quiet their mind. And I would encourage everybody to go there, listen to it. It's so helpful when you can get the chatter gone. And then there's ones that are intentional for people dealing with, you know, sleep issues or whatever it might be. And there's even a course there if someone's interested in diving a little bit deeper with it. But the biggest thing that I do is I work with the Redox technology. And it's something that, you know, if people are interested in exploring what might this be able to do for me, right? Because it goes in and it's going to help each individual being where they need it. I'd say reach out. You know, you and I, you know, have created a partnership here with exploring this and how it can support you with your clients. And so whoever's listening, we're here for that, to help you learn more and decide, is this something that would be right for me? So I'd say very likely in the description, you know, you can get a link to my website if you want to explore those meditations, but reach out to us about the ASIA and the Redox technology and explore what it can do for you. You know, I've helped people around the world and I get paid in goosebumps. It is such a fun thing to be involved with. And I can't wait to see what unfolds for those listening, right? You're listening for a reason. And so if it's resonating, just act on it and let's discuss more.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing your story and sharing about what you do as well. And I am sure a lot of people will feel inspired, will feel motivated to move forward with their lives and to try the products. So Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to the audience, and I wish you a lot of success in everything that you do moving ahead, Danielle.
Oh, thank you so much. And if anyone wants to connect on social media, I like this podcast. I want to be a light and inspiration for people. And so daily I put things out, mindset tips, things that can be helpful. So please connect with me there. I'll put that information in the description as well. And I look forward to seeing what unfolds from you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to the audience for being so faithful, for listening, for watching, for subscribing, and for sharing. And thank you again, Danielle. Thank you.